All right, so it's Sunday, 9:30 in the morning. It's the 17th of July, and I'm going, 18th of July, and I'm going for my second vaccination. So, bye.
Morning.
Good morning. I'm going for my second vaccination.
Oh,
You had your first one, right?
sorry, sir. I couldn't went there because I was sick.
Oh, you're sick. Ah.
That's why I couldn't went there.
Oh, okay.
So I will try next time.
That's great. Okay. Good. See you soon. So that was the guard that we helped to sign up for the public release of a batch of vaccinations. First come, first served, so it was quite chaotic, and we helped him to sign up after about half an hour trying to book a spot on the online system, which was completely overloaded. And that's also how I got my spot from the first public release of the vaccines. So this time, instead of cycling on my own bicycle, I will try out this new electric bike that has appeared on the streets here within the last few weeks. TRYKE bike. And it's quite interesting because they also have a electric scooter like this, and then there's another one, Beam, which is also electric scooter. So let me try to I tried it the other day, and this is the first time there's been a sort of bike sharing that is electric. Whoops. Okay, let me just log in 1 second. I need to get some kind of code to unlock, but it's really easy. So they will send me a 4-digit code. Here it comes. 8483. 8483. Enter. Next. And it's successful. And enable the GPS so they know where I am. I'll skip all this. And then you just press unlock. So one thing you can see, this is the price, half a ringgit per minute, which is quite expensive. But anyway, I will. Oops. Oh wow, that was fast. Sorry, it's not available. Okay. We try another one. Let's try this one. Unlock the scooter. So you just sort of scan the barcode, this barcode, and you can see yes. So then it says, okay, the battery can reach 15 to 20 kilometers. Okay, great. Unlock. And then down here at the it unlocks automatically, and then the trip starts. So yep, let's get going. And what I quite like about this bike is that the seat can be adjusted quite easily, and it can go quite high. So I need it in the highest position, because I hate going on these bikes that have very low saddles and they're no fun to ride. And now off we go. So whoops, that was the bell. So it's quite the brakes, you just check that the brakes work. Okay, the one on the right works quite well, the one on the left not so much. And what's interesting about this bike is that it's electric. So maybe I can just film my feet. So you see, right now I'll just slow down first to see the electric motor kicking in. So now I'm going quite slow, and I start pedaling, and then it kicks in and keeps accelerating. Try again a little bit, and it keeps accelerating. So basically it's like a electric bike that gives sort of full throttle electric motor assistance when you start pedaling, and that's great in the tropics, because if you don't want to sweat, then it needs to be mostly driven by the electric motor. So I think, I mean, I've said this for a long time, that electric bikes like this is a key part of the future urban infrastructure, not infrastructure but transportation, and the infrastructure is missing. So it needs to be safe to cycle, which is slowly getting there, but we need much more safe bicycle paths. For sort of normal people to start cycling and seeing it as a realistic option. So you can see this bicycle path is one example of well, it's not so great. This runner was getting out of my way, and this is quite busy with pedestrians on a normal weekday, so you have to like squeeze through these kind of ramps. Not ideal. And here you'll be fighting with pedestrians. Actually, they, as you can see, they painted the blue bicycle lane over with grey to make it back into pedestrian color, the pavement color. So I think maybe there were complaints from pedestrians that these, I mean, they felt that sidewalk belonged to them. And this is that classic conflict that will arise between bicycles and pedestrians once you put a bicycle path up on the pedestrian walk. So that's why I am still a firm believer that the bicycles should have their own separate lane. They shouldn't be given a path on the pedestrian walk on the expense of the pedestrians. So now I'm on the Sultan Ismail, the main road in KL, and I have the electric motor, and the gearing is quite low, as you can see. I will not make this light. So I think that's maybe one improvement they could make for this bike, is to up the gearing. But I quite like the fact that it has the basket. It also has an electric light in front. I wonder if there's one in the back actually. Oh yeah, there is one here. It's not really lighting up, but I can see a small LED on top here, so battery powered as well. I don't know why that has to be separate from the battery of the bike. I suppose this is the battery here. You have to be 18 to ride this bike, 1 rider per vehicle, and follow the traffic laws. And then it also says wear a helmet. So that is not really a fair requirement for a street sharing bike. So are you saying that people who pick up this bike on the street should be carrying a helmet around all day? Not practical. So there was actually a great video done by this guy in Singapore who is reviewing the bicycle paths and urban infrastructure in general, and he had a dedicated video on bicycle paths, on helmets, and he made some great points why it doesn't make sense to have mandatory helmet requirement for bicycles. In short, because it's self-regulating, so that means the people who feel they need a helmet will do so, to a large extent. So for example, people that ride fast on road bikes for exercise mostly, they will almost always wear a helmet, whereas the uncle or auntie who takes the bike for a short ride to go to the grocery shop and who ride really slowly will not wear a helmet because it's simply not necessary, and they sort of know, I guess, how to stay safe. And once you have these kind of helmet requirements, then you discourage people from cycling. So in Singapore, for example, there's I believe it's a 1,000 Singapore dollar fine. So that's about 3,000 ringgit, or about $1,000 US fine for not wearing a helmet. And that is quite discouraging. And in this video from Singapore, he mentioned that under Singapore law, if you ride twice the speed in a quiet neighborhood, if you do that by car, then the fine is only 300 Singapore dollars, or 1/3 of the fine of not wearing a helmet. And that just seems absurd. So it shows a little bit how these sort of new bicycle countries, where the legislation still favors the car a lot, and it's not proportional. And what his video also showed was that you actually, by bicycling, you get exercise, and therefore you reduce your risk of getting cardiac arrest and other diseases. So you actually should be encouraging people to ride bicycles more. So this bicycle helmet requirement, under the guise of saving lives, is actually probably leading to a net increase in fatalities, because people then die from being physically inactive. So it's an interesting discussion. But anyway, I'm on my way to get the second vaccine, and Malaysia has seen a very good uptake in the vaccination rate. The authorities believe that 80% of the population will be fully vaccinated by December of this year. If we can keep this rate up, and once you get this kind of herd immunity, you can start opening up societies like we are seeing now in the US and also in Europe. So it's a bit surreal to see people shoulder to shoulder at meetings, not wearing masks in Europe or the US, while Malaysia is actually undergoing the worst phase of the COVID crisis at the moment, with about 100 people dying every day, and with cases being at a record high. I believe it's about 13,000 new COVID cases per day at the moment. hopefully Malaysia can get this vaccine going and start getting into this herd immunity and getting sort of back to normal, opening up. So now I'm parking across from the vaccination center, and I press end trip. Whoops. And then here it's verifying whether I am at a station or not. So in this case I'm not. Or press button below. Yeah, so I'm not. I'm none of those, and I don't really know what to do. So you can see 13 minutes and 6.5 ringgit. Okay, so I'll try to enter trip. Yeah, so it's a bit dumb because if you park outside of the zone, which I'm doing now, then you pay 10 ringgit penalty. But it cannot, there's no button to where you can say, okay, I'm not parking at one of these stations. And then this screen where it just says, okay, we are trying to verify that you're a station or not, is just keep trying to update for 5 minutes or more. And I don't think anyone wants to stand there and wait for that to finalize. So this is something that needs to be improved. But I've already given that feedback, because what happened last time was it was charging me for those 5 minutes as well, which is also ridiculous. So anyway, let me just do a screen dump of this. So from having very little traffic, suddenly there's a lot of traffic, and that's because we're at the vaccination center. Look at all these cars being parked. So that's a good sign. Traffic is a good sign in this case. People are flocking to the vaccination center. And to get their first or second shot. Wow, parking up the highway. So I'm happy I cycled here. So it's really important that we get this vaccination going, and some interesting data came out of the US this week where they found that 99% of the people who die from COVID at the moment are people who are not vaccinated. So the data is in, vaccines work, they are not a hoax, and we should just keep getting them for the benefit of ourselves, but also for the benefit of those around you and society as a whole. So entrance. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, Q.
Ah, okay.
Q. Minta tolong ikut Q. Minta tolong ikut Q. First dose, second dose, semua satu Q. First dose, second dose, semua satu Q. First dose, second dose, semua satu Q. Section 3, section 1, section 2, semua dalam. Semua dalam. Semua dalam. session 2, session 3 here. Okay?
Okay. Second dose.
First dose, session 1, session 2, session 2 sini.
Alright. So it should be a bit faster for the second dose. So today's cases 12,500 and 138 dead.
Tolong ikut barisan. Tolong ikut jarak masing-masing kan.
Itu tadi masuk sana ada ini.
Sama je barisan dia, tapi berat dari belakang ya.
Jaga jarak kakak, adik, abang. Pakcik. Kau gelak tu kan?
Second dose.
Kecuali warga mak.
Second dose.
Station.
Jalan cik. Jalan terus.
Second dose.
Yep, go snake.
Alright. Okay, that's quite fast and easy. Station 2. Station 2.
Station 2 here.
Thank you. Yeah,
Your profile.
my profile, okay.
Okay, yeah, profile.
Profile, okay.
Okay. Click my sejahtera.
Uh-huh.
COVID-19 status.
Yeah.
Yeah, start.
Start.
Yeah, update your profile then show influence, huh?
Okay. Update.
Dah, ni boleh masuk. Our group together. Oh, very betul. Halo, Ibu.
Okay.
Yeah, going to
Updated.
profile again. Yeah, going to profile again.
Profile,
Then
okay.
refresh your profile.
Alright.
Okay, tayo can go.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi.
Already update, eh?
Yeah, updated.
Check in inside.
Check in inside. Okay, great.
Okay.
Check in, right?
Yes, as a normal, sir.
That's normal.
Okay.
Alright.
Temperature, sir. And
Yeah.
station 2.
Station 2, yeah.
Yes, sir. Straight.
Thank you. Okay, very organized. So, very, like last time, very professionally done. Good to see a lot of old people getting vaccinated. That's my big worry, actually, that the old people are too scared and will not show up, and they are the ones that are at risk. Station 2. Station 2, second dose. Okay. I can actually sit on the same chair as last time. But okay, this time I'll sit in front. Second dose, yeah.
Yeah, proceed to the blue color hall. Station 2.
I go where, sorry?
Blue color hall, blue.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you. Station 1. Station 2, second dose. Yeah.
Okay, you open your MySejahtera appointment.
Yes.
Then the staff will assist you inside lah. Okay.
Okay, that's
Make
great.
sure you open, yeah.
Will do. Thank you.
Inside, yeah.
Yep. Hi. All right. Thank you.
Dia tukar number dia tu, lepas tu first dia dekat tu hilang. Masa second dose dia pun dia tak dapat dekat apa, tapi dia pergi check dekat
JKJAV. Itu pakai nombor mana satu? Baru lama ke JKJAV tu?
nombor baru.
Pakai ikut daripada JKJAV ni.
Okay, so dia boleh dia ambil kan?
Ambil.
Okay, stop here. No problem. It has to be perfect.
How old you are, you know,
Yeah,
then
of course.
or maybe I just do the regular one.
And in any case, I mean, most of your face is covered with a mask, so
Yeah, I know.
so not to worry too much. All right. So you want the green one or the white one?
Second
This one.
is like I this one is like
Right. Okay. You also got the artwork in the back, so it's quite pretty, this one. Quite chantik. Yeah. All right. 1, 2, 3, go. And then I go a little bit closer. 1, 2, 3, go. Yay. All right. Okay, I took a few shots.
my name is ASEAN.
Say-
AZIAN.
Okay, ASEAN.
ASEAN.
ASEAN. Oh, like almost like Asian.
Yeah, yeah.
Or ASEAN.
I lied to them about my
Yeah. Okay, good. Good to meet you. Oh wow, that's nice.
Okay.
Wow. What are we celebrating here?
Okay. Birthday, I think birthday.
Oh, okay, okay.
Birthday.
Very good. So nice. Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you for the vaccination. Yeah. I'm parked down there. Yeah, good to meet you. Best of luck. Congratulations. With
Correct, right?
it's a bit like crackers that you eat. You just put a G in front. Crackers.
Okay, correct.
Yeah.
Okay, Asia.
All right. Good to meet you. Bye. That was really nice. People are quite talkative at the vaccination center. I guess everyone is happy to get their final shot, and with good reason. So I already got the vaccination certificate and on my phone, and now we just need the different countries to agree on what privileges you get from being vaccinated. So let's see, the bike is still there, so I will try to ride it back. So we go back on the app. And let's see, TRYKE. Oh, wow, you're out of the zone. Okay, no pass. And now, oh, it's unlocked. Aha, okay, so it's still charging me. Wow. So 30 ringgit, 32 ringgit so far. So it's been charging me all the while. So that's gonna be a bit expensive. Anyway, so that's interesting. I locked the bike and pressed end trip, and it was trying to find some kind of station nearby or something, and I didn't have time to wait for that because it can just keep going. And then I went to do my vaccination, and then now that it came out, like I guess it's about an hour later or so, a little bit less, the bike had unlocked, and when I looked at my app, it just said, okay, you're not at a station, or actually I'm outside the zone, so where you're allowed to ride the bike. So it wanted me to bring the bike back. Which I guess is understandable, except that I read on the app previously that if you park it outside of the zone, you are charged a 10 ringgit inconvenience fee. Meaning they would have inconvenience of having to transport the bicycle back into the area. okay, fair enough. So that's why I was quite surprised, not only that I was not allowed to do that, but also that the bike unlocked itself and was waiting for me to ride it back, even though maybe I wouldn't check this app for the next few days. So would it just keep charging me or what? So this is not acceptable, and I'll definitely feed this back. To them. So, I mean, at this rate, it will cost me, let's see, it's 30 ringgit an hour, and there's 24 hours. So that's gonna be really expensive, really fast. Wow. Okay, I'm happy that I found the bike again, and that no one else had taken it. Imagine if someone said, great, there's an unlocked bike, and then brought it home and then just used it for the next few years while would be charged 30 ringgit an hour. I don't know. I think they need to fine-tune some things about this app, especially that you can just unlock the bike and still keep charging the person who locked it. So I'll have to keep this, show this unfortunate incident in this video. And it actually pains me because I'm much in favor of electric bicycles and promoting them, especially in the hot and humid tropical cities, but not if they are doing daylight robbery. So they need to improve this. Another thing I noticed is that the electric motor has stopped working. Like, I can still ride the bike just fine, but it's not giving me the push anymore. So, not sure about the logic of that, because when I started the bike ride, it said there was at least 15 kilometers of range, and at the moment I've only been riding this bike 6 kilometers. So what's up with that? But maybe it's I don't know, some kind of security measure, since I locked it and then it was unlocked on its own. Not really sure. I'll have to ask for an explanation from TRYKE. But getting back to the vaccinations, it was really great to have the second shot, and it was so efficiently done, just like last time. it was well organized. Lots of people helping to check your documents, to guide you the right way. It was well signboarded anyway. Again, you had sort of a personal doctor asking you if you had any side effects from the first vaccination, and if you didn't, okay, you would go ahead having the second dose. So I guess if you had some severe side effects and was hospitalized, just double checking that you're not having the second dose, just like that. So I think it gives you good confidence as a consumer, as a citizen or a resident of Malaysia, and I hope the public will basically go and get these free vaccinations. Silent, pollution-free bicycle. These Harley-Davidsons are examples of what I call acceptable unnecessary noise generation in our shared environment. And I mean, when they rev these bikes, I live close to a street where they often do that. You just can't speak together. I mean, you'll have to pause the conversation for however long they're revving, because this sound, which they think is very cool, and I guess a lot of people think so, I'm not sure, is apparently socially acceptable. And it's not just the noise, it's also the air pollution. But okay, maybe I'm a little bit too Puritan in my views on not trying to pollute the environment and not trying to do unnecessary noise pollution. Anyway, this road is very nicely refurbished with a lot of trees, and they I think it used to be a 3 or 4 lane road, 3 lane probably, so they widened the sidewalks and made it much more conducive for pedestrians. And about more than a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, they were supposed to close this off for cars, so only buses could go here, so it would be much more pedestrianized. But what I want to talk about here is the legendary Coliseum restaurant and bar, which was supposed to celebrate its 100-year anniversary this year. And this is the grey building here on the right. It has unfortunately closed last month, or maybe earlier this month. So this place had been almost unchanged for 100 years. And it's next to the Coliseum Theatre, so that one is still well, showing Indian movies. but the restaurant and bar, it was a great place. I've been there many times. It looked like the waiters had also never changed from the onset. These quite old guys, wooden panels, white sort of whitewashed walls, and then these old tables with these sort of old tablecloths with sort of little holes in them, and with sort of old stains of brown sauce or something like that. And they would serve this great sizzling steak, and there would be a bar at the entrance where you could have your pre-dinner drink. And I remember talking to one of the Danes who moved out here to Malaysia in 1952 or 54 or something like that, very long ago. And he worked on a plantation, so out in the countryside. And during that time, Malaysia had the emergency, which meant that the communist forces that were living out in the jungle were targeting the British colonial rulers because they wanted to fight for an independent Malaysia. So of course these plantation guys from abroad were easy targets because they were living out in quite remote areas in the plantations around Malaysia. So the rubber estates, the palm oil estates. And this guy used to carry a machine gun when he worked, just in case, and had one close encounter where he, luckily for him, managed to pick up that there was an ambush further down the road, so he managed to avoid that altercation with whatever outcome that would have brought. But anyway, so when they came to Kuala Lumpur, it was time to have a good time, and he told me they would go to this place, and all these plantation guys would leave all their weapons at the door, and then they would have their drinks and a good meal and share the stories. So, and he said this, in his time, this bar had not, or this restaurant and bar had not changed. I mean, it looked the same. So I was quite sad to read that what should have been a 100-year anniversary celebration turned into tragedy, meaning they had to simply close shop because of the COVID situation and the inability to earn money because you just can't operate unless you do takeaway food, but I'm not sure how many people would do that. It was really the experience, the atmosphere of this place. So unfortunately they, like many other businesses, I guess, have had to close down during this difficult time. So sad to see that. So now the battery works again, the electric motor. So I'm not sure what brought it to life, but maybe it's when you get inside the zone, the operational zone of this bike. Then so once you go outside the zone, the battery is cut off. That's my guess. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so Malaysia is going through a difficult time now, and I lost the drink. And it rolled. It rolled to the other side. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I got this drink when I was vaccinated, so I was hoping it would stay in this basket, and it did almost the full way, but not entirely. So I can really see the toll of this pandemic in my own neighborhood, which we're entering now. I've never before seen people who are really begging for money, and I'll usually pay them because they are really desperate. Even a taxi driver just asked me for money the other day because there's no customers. So this is Jalan Alor, the famous food street. So one of the restaurants I was sad to see close is this corner one, which is the famous chicken wing place. Just go down here. I saw a police car patrolling, and not that I'm doing anything illegal, but just to avoid any unnecessary trouble. So I'll rejoin the Jalan Alor. So this street is just so dead compared to what it used to be. Of course now it's in the afternoon, so, or middle of the day, so it wouldn't be busy normally, but at night there's almost no activity and many of the restaurants are just closed. So for example, the corner shop up here on the right, which was 24 hours open, Chinese food, has closed. So the back here, I can't remember what it's called, Asian lager. That's the, yeah. Let's see. Going a little bit against the traffic here. And on this street, I've seen, I mean, here's a homeless person. And I saw a guy just walking down the street the other day, shouting at the top of his lungs, saying that the government is killing us, or this pandemic is killing us, we're committing suicide in our apartments and all this. So it's really, really tough times. And actually the suicide rate has doubled in Malaysia. So that's definitely a sign that things are not going so well. Also the economy last year in 2020 contracted by 5.6%. And I think this year, with all these lockdowns, it will be similar, I would imagine. So these are difficult times. This street is normally bustling, very quiet. The bars are all dying. Because you can't dine out, you can't go out, so it's really quite difficult. And yeah, it's visible as well. I've seen families who are, I mean, people who are walking around with suitcases. So basically, having been evicted from their home, sometimes with a young kid, having to live on the street. So it's really now that we have to come together the best we can. Oh yeah, I should park this bike. Sorry, it's not a very legal move, but there's a little traffic. Quite safe. But yeah, we really have to try to come together, pull together, help those people in need, and I think the end is in sight, meaning the end of this pandemic. If we can get to this herd immunity by end of this year, then it should be brighter times ahead. Okay, so now I've spent 43.5 ringgit on this trip. Okay, so I'll press end trip. End the trip, okay. Yes, I would like to end the trip. Please lock the bike. So that's what I did last time. Okay. Checking the bike lock. Alright. And then I have to scan. I mean, there's supposed to be a station where you scan a number or something like that, but this scan code is not here. So maybe it would be a good idea if they brought that up. Yes, here we go. We have received. Okay, I got some credits. Okay, fine. But here we go. 89 minutes, 44 ringgit. And this is for riding 11 kilometers, so not. I'll give this a low rating, and then I'll say wow. And wow, it keeps going back. It doesn't want the 1-star rating.